Finally, what we as a community have been asking for so long has happened. Flametroopers, or perhaps more specifically, flames in general, have been nerfed in Enlisted. In more ways than one, in fact. Gone are the days when you spontaneously combust despite being inside a cold concrete bunker. No more will your AI walk into fire and expect to come out the other side like Daenerys Targaryen. Or well, they might still try. You never really know with AI, to be honest. Now, despite me talking about flamethrowers, the headline feature of this minor update is in fact something different. Something you've already noticed, and if you haven't, you're either blind or you just haven't logged into Enlisted yet. And if you haven't, what's stopping you? The game is massively improving day after day, there's huge updates, the developers are actively listening to us as a community and making changes we want to. Yes, I'm talking about you, COD God 123470, want to see. Oh, and there's the amazing event where you can get free British and German paratroopers with absolutely top tier weapons. They made explosions when they landed. And if you aren't giving your British paratroopers the berets, are you really a Brit? Actually, wait, don't answer that, because most of you literally aren't. But what I actually meant about the headline feature was the new UI. You guys have overall given it some very positive reviews on a poll I did recently, and not gonna lie, it's very clean on the whole. Sure, there are some things I'd change, a few bugs perhaps, but it's super slick, smooth, and really matches with the way modern games are going. And that can only be a positive. Some small things with the user interface were changed that I bet you didn't even notice too, like the fact that we just hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel. So I want to say a massive thank you to all of you watching these and liking the dang videos. Psst, as never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd hit this in such a short space of time. Anyway, what I really mean are things like the event area being expandable and moved independently away from custom games, the short animation of things diving in from the right, which is basically me when you give me time to play with Premiere Pro keyframes, and ease in, and the neat little glossy shine animation that I definitely didn't copy from my Twitch streams, definitely not. I mean I did it first, what are you doing? Perhaps most interestingly, they actually changed the direction of weapons and how they're displayed in the soldier loadout menus. I have no idea why, but I'm not complaining. Even the axes look a bit different. Hey, well, you never know. Some people are right, and some people are just wrong. Okay, that was bad, I'll just see myself out. But now to the mighty dev blog for the Flametrooper changes. What you've probably all been waiting for, and what are my thoughts on them? Under the category of weapon and soldier, it says that a trooper being in water protects him from fire, which is fantastic. Finally, you have an escape from fire. I mean, it may not be that useful, but at least it's a choice if you're literally right next to a river. Yet, even after you get out of it, you're still safe for the whole 30 seconds. Pretty cool, to be honest. I can't wait to see flamethrower troops abuse this and walk in a river just to start setting ablaze everything in existence and with no chance of being caught on fire by their own fire whatsoever. Definitely not exploitable. The fact they say after 30 seconds implies your state of being soaked lasts only for this long. And no, before you ask, rain sadly does not count as being soaked. A missed opportunity perhaps, because honestly that would completely spice up some maps if rain miraculously appears, rendering your pyromaniacs less useful for a specific battle. The second nerf, and definitely the more valuable one, comes in the form of a 1.5 second delay between actually standing on fire and, you know, burning. This is so important. I cannot stress this enough. The sheer number of times I've been on fire from God knows what, or the slightest of touches onto a flame-filled area sitting near light triggered me and all of you hard. I am sure of it. Don't even lie to me. But now, you have some leeway, which you may not even realize will be so useful. This does really change the balance of flamethrowers and Molotovs, and makes them much less meta for both killing and for area denial. This is not going to be the end of the Flametrooper class, however. They're still going to be very good at literally everything, and super important for you to have a squad of these at the ready. But at least they're no longer as, toxic. Speaking of toxic, let's talk about the changes to white phosphorus grenades. That was an interesting transition. Reducing the radius of the poison does make it less effective when spamming them, which, as I have said in numerous previous videos, including one linked in the top corner now on detailing a previous important update to the game, is the biggest problem with phosphorus and other types of grenades, not the fact that just one of them is good. I mean, one of them is good, but they're not OP. The problem comes from that guy you've seen on the leaderboards always spamming them. Now, I have no complaints about this change at all. I still think it's great and important to help nerf the incendiary as a whole. But will it prevent half the player base from equipping a large grenade pouch with 3 of these bad boys to ruin your life in the Pacific campaign? No. Probably not. And some of you are probably thinking I described your entire game plan very easily there. Next up are a ton of new sound changes. There's so many in this update, it's hard to know exactly how many. Most of you won't even notice the smallest of them. That's how many there are. And they're pretty dang cool. There's even a goddamn sizzle sound when you're on fire now. Ah yes, the sound of flesh cooking, my favourite. Under the Vehicles tab, a bunch of bug fixes, new sound design, and efficient usage improvements. Most of these I don't really understand because, well, I just don't even use vehicles unless you guys force me to over on my Twitch streams, and even then, I'd still want to end my life. Unless, of course, it descends into a knife fight. Now that, as a Londoner myself, I know. Although, this one seems in the wrong place. I'm not sure a vehicle can dig, unless you mean one of these bad boys. We have motorbike rider class. Now where's my bulldozer class? Some visual effects follow that, it's nice to see, and loads of new missions. This subsection of every dev blog normally just means they've added existing game modes to existing maps which didn't have them before, creating more diversity in the map pool, but also sometimes allows for them to change key aspects of the game, like a faction's spawn tickets, inventory and vehicle spawn point locations, and occasionally areas of cover to shield yourself out in open spaces. It's more of the same here today, including some bug fixes, but most significantly is at the very top. Improved visibility. Some maps are literally just too dark to see anything. And vegetation. It's nice to see trees too. One of the most sought after changes has finally come with it too. The ability to rewind replays. Just don't ask me why it wasn't in the game to begin with though. You can now view all of your previous match history and do whatever you want with it. The replay mod is super fluid and smooth now. They've also become more reliable, as in before this update, sometimes you saw people in there shooting through doors that were closed sometimes and people screamed hacker, but in reality, the door was actually open during that game. Similar improvements to the mission editor or mod making portal were made, though when I first read the top bullet point before reading the subheading it was under, I panicked. Imagine my shock when I thought all soldiers were going to have the ability to pick up a hammer and build rally points. Every soldier. Then there would truly be no excuse for you guys to not build them. And perhaps then you could finally obtain the certified rally point builder role on the biggest Enlisted community Discord server. There's a link in the pinned comments if you want to chat to like-minded fellow engineer enjoyers. Last up is my favourite category, the other improvements subsection. Anything else that doesn't go anywhere else just goes here. The place where nothing makes sense, the place where misfits belong. If you are a mortar enjoyer, you'd go here. Okay, no, I'm sorry, mortars are cool, I take it back. If you are a keen Enlisted streamer like myself, where we stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays, then having this new nickname harmonization feature is actually crucial. It doesn't infringe on players' right to name themselves whatever they want, but equally provides a way to prevent certain wearaboo role players from getting you banned. I actually have to blur most of this image that I was going to use for this joke for the video, because it's just too much of an issue for YouTube, let alone Twitch. Very neat feature. I mean, more so for me as a content creator, but still for everybody, you can use this. Because maybe if you see Euthymia on the enemy team, you just want to blur that thing out of your memory. I would too. That was a joke, please don't ban me. You can also no longer stack sandbags on top of each other and create the Leaning Tower of Moscow, and for this reason it will actually please the historical accuracy part of the player base. Rewards have changed for shooting down those AI bombing runs, which, let's be real here, man to man, snail god pleaser to snail god pleaser. Everybody abused to farm experience and battle score to their heart's content. Come on, own up. It's actually good the score has been nerfed, at least a bit, so that game leaderboards like this won't happen. How on earth this man has 0 kills yet is valued as the best player on his team, I can't even explain. Definitely not salty, don't even know what you're on about. I mean, all props to the bloke, he's absolutely smashed it. I don't even think you could do this if you tried. If you can beat this though, send an image of it on our Discord for the whole world to see, and most probably laugh at, if we're being honest. Comment down below what you guys think of this update. The developers are constantly reading comments on my videos, so have your say. Make sure you understand how to best use your new British paratroopers by watching this video, or learn how to make your background look as memorable as mine in this video on custom hangers. Special thanks to all my YouTube channel members and supporters on screen now, including Kitsune Lord 91, Ekolo QE, Vertix, Lupapaya, Wow Just Wow, Vendertrex, Yonut, and Narfalex. You're all legends, and once again, thank you for 10k.